What's going on, people? It is RG, and I'm going to be reacting to Marianne Williamson laying the smackdown on Sean Hannity. This is going to be fun. I haven't seen this.
Time for the Hannity Hot Seat. If you watch Joe Biden's re-election announcement video, you may have seen something very interesting at the end. Take a look at your screen and see what it says on the bottom. Paid for by the Democratic National Committee. So the DNC is all in for Biden, and they've rigged the primary before it even starts. Remember, they're going to bypass New Hampshire, go straight to South Carolina. They're not even holding any debates, despite the fact that a majority of Democrats do not want Joe to run for a second term, but Joe isn't the only one running.
Right.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. recently entered the race, by
That's
the way,
true.
and he's up to 19% in the polls. That's a pretty big number, I think. And author Marianne Williamson, she ran back in 2020. If you recall, she is back in the race, and she announced her campaign before Biden did, and she did it longer than 3 minutes and didn't have to tape it. And she's asking Joe Biden to debate her. And she joins us now from Washington, D.C. tonight, the Swamp. Marianne, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for having me.
I actually am going to start out in agreement with you. I think we'll disagree on other stuff. I think it would be fair for Joe Biden to debate you and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Why do you think he's not debating? And do you believe he's in a steep cognitive decline?
Well, I think in a democracy, what's important is that people have a right to see their options. I think this is an extremely important time in American history, and anyone who feels moved to run for president should have their say, and the voters should hear what they have to say. They should hear their agenda, and the voters should decide who they want to be.
Biden is literally blocking Robert Kennedy Jr. and Marianne Williamson from participating in any form of a debate against him. I think the DNC knows that, and to be clear, I don't fully agree with Robert Kennedy Jr. I don't. But I think that he should be allowed to say what he wants to say on a national stage in front of millions of Americans. I think he should be able to, express what he wants to say. So I think it's a good thing that she went on to Fox News, but I don't know what good that's going to do her in the long run.
Be president.
How about part two of my question? Do you believe he's in a major cognitive decline?
I'm not a doctor. I'm not somebody who is testing his brain. I think every American citizen has to.
Marianne, listen. You can clearly see it. I'm sorry. I know that you're a nice woman, but you can clearly see it. Come on.
When you
Look at the
watch him,
president and listen to the
does
president.
he seem like somebody that has the strength and stamina and is articulate to be president?
I wouldn't be running if I didn't think that I was a better candidate. I think I have the energy, and certainly I have the ideas that are better.
You got to answer my
Because
question.
I'm not going to come on Fox News and talk to you, Sean, and say something like that. I'm not going to. I think every American can decide for themselves.
But if you believe it, you would tell us, would you?
My mind doesn't go into that. I don't believe that the energy is being demonstrated that I believe will be necessary in order to take on either DeSantis or Trump in 20.
I think that's a good answer, actually. I think she's saying it in a not so harsh way. She's basically just saying, like, I don't think he has what it takes to beat them, and he doesn't. So
2024.
You
And if I did,
You said that we need an economic U-turn in this country.
right.
What system economically do you support? I'm a capitalist. I believe in limited government, more freedom,
No, you
lower
don't.
taxes.
No, because you supported Donald Trump, and Donald Trump, in essence, made the government bigger than it ever has been. So, no, Sean, you do not support lower taxes. You do not support limited government. You don't. You just don't. Stop lying. You don't.
And energy independence. What do you want?
I think our capitalist system has lost some of its soul over the last 50 years. I believe that capitalism, Adam Smith, who is the main architect of free market capitalism, said that free market capitalism cannot exist outside an ethical context. I think public policy has to have ethics. So I believe that the American people, our safety, our health, and our well-being should come before short-term profits for huge corporate entities. I believe that there are other stakeholders besides just
throwing out a lot of
stockholders.
cliches. I want
I
to dig down deep here. What do you think? I want, for example, lower taxes, more freedom, less government bureaucracy, and I want energy independence. I want borders secure. I want law and order. What do you want?
The borders are the same now that they were under Trump, though, Sean. But you didn't say that, though, did you? See, it's always a game. It's always like, well, the border. Biden's letting so many immigrants coming through the border. Motherfucker, it's the same exact border policy that it was under Trump. It's the same thing. It's literally the same thing.
Okay, so let's go with each one. The first one, take each one at a time. The first one you said was lower taxes. I want lower taxes for middle class people. I want higher taxes for people who have huge amounts of wealth.
Yes, ma'am.
Living at the effect of public policies. How high? I want to see a wealth tax. I think people who, first of all, I think we should look. In 2017, we have a $2 trillion tax cut. 83 cents of every dollar went to the very richest Americans and the very
let's see how
richest
smart you are in the economy.
The middle class,
what percentage of income taxes to the bottom 50% of Americans?
She's not letting him answer anything. She's literally, or he's not letting her answer. He's literally not letting her answer. She's able to talk for 2 seconds, and then he's just on to the next question because he knows that she's right.
What percent?
It's not about I'm not going to talk to you about the bottom middle class, the bottom half. I'm going to talk to you about the upper class, the 1%. So you asked me what I want to see. I want to see 50 million or more. I think people should pay an extra 2% in taxes. Wouldn't affect their day. And if someone has $1 billion, they should pay an extra
to each American based on their need, from each American according to their ability.
Talk about cliches.
I'm asking. Is that a statement that you agree with? I'm asking.
Well, as a concept, but once again, that we should talk about what's
Karl
real
Marx,
in this country.
that's Karl Marx's words, not mine.
Well, thank God I didn't say yes, because then you'd be calling me a Marxist.
You kind of did,
Look,
but
Sean, well, no, I did. You didn't crap me there.
Would you support me in this? Do you support energy independence? And we ought not be importing oil from countries that hate us and countries like Venezuela. Would you support me on that?
I think that I would support you that we should not be getting oil or selling arms, by the way, to countries that hate us. But I also want to see a habitable planet in 100 years. I want to see massive investments in green energy.
Yep.
I want to see a just transition from a dirty economy to a clean economy.
How much money? We're now spending over $50 billion.
Let her fucking finish, Sean. Let her fucking finish. Let her get her point out. Let her see. He's not letting her finish. Let her finish. She's actually got good points. Let her finish.
Spending something on the climate alarmist religious cult. How many billions of dollars do you want to invest in it? Give me a number.
Listen, we have $858 billion right now in our military expenditure every year, and they are the largest institutional emitter of greenhouse gases. And the Congressional Budget Office, hardly a liberal organization, says that we could take out $1 trillion of that over the next decade and cut greenhouse gases.
But natural gas is a clean burning fossil fuel. All right, I got to ask you about some of the weird stuff you've said. Okay, you have said your body is merely your space station from whence you beam your love to the universe. Don't just relate to the station, relate to the beams. You said everyone feels on some level like an alien in this world because we are. We come from another realm of consciousness and long from home. What the hell does that mean?
I'm surprised to hear you say that because I would think that you would recognize that as a very traditional religious and spiritual perspective.
Marianne, Sean Hannity's not very smart. I think you're being too kind on.
That we are spirits, that God created us as spirits. And that is what we are, and we are here to love one another. And we don't feel deeply at home on a spiritual level on this planet because this world is not based on love the way it should be. I think those words are
all right. That's a fair answer. I'm a Christian. I believe in God the Father, that God created every man, woman, and child on this earth. I believe in Jesus Christ, his son, that died and resurrected, came back from the dead to save all of us from our sins. That's what I believe.
Yeah, sure. Well. That was fun, huh? That was really, really interesting. Well, I personally think that Marianne dunked on him. I think that Sean did not allow her to answer any question. None. But when she did answer, she was adequate, intelligent, and she knew what she was talking about. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.